The vape's right here.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just put it on it. Put it on it. Put it on the thing, and try to get it fucking in. This is what you do with that. Atta boy. Atta boy. See?
Not bad, huh?
That's my nigga.
That was
man.
actually pretty sick.
What? The tutorial or the actual?
I didn't think I
effort?
was gonna get it the first time.
No, dude. You're
You-
like a
you
crane.
You ever watch the like when they're trying to dock on a space station, and they're like 2 degrees left, 2 degrees right,
Oh, bro, I know exactly what you're
and
talking
then like guy like fucks it up. He's like, fuck.
about. Dude, it's been a rough week for me, man. You know what? With all things in life, time fixes all things. Time fixes all things. When I first got into the job, I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
Now, chilling.
chilling.
And,
You added me on LinkedIn the other day. Nice. Look at you getting professional.
hey, I started LinkedIn at end of December. I never had a LinkedIn before. I've never had to actually apply for jobs. My last 2 jobs, no, I would say 3 jobs,
Yeah.
all through recruitment.
There's some people that actually never like I've met, and it's probably similar with you, but I've met a lot of people the last couple of years just doing sales or whatever, and so it's LinkedIn's very common. You like the day after, it's like, okay, I met like six guys, just look them up, blah.
Yeah.
There's a surprising amount of people who've been in the industry, in their industry for a while, that just don't have LinkedIn
And
because it's like
yeah.
they've been in for 30 years. We're like, what's the point? What am I doing it for now, right?
But I noticed those guys are never the guys that are like, go from super to a CEO or a CFO.
No, these are like high level guys. But that's the thing, like they're capped. So they're like, what the fuck what's the point? What am I getting on LinkedIn for? I'm like shop manager, director, what the fuck? Like that's it for me. Like I'm not going to be hopping to the next, like I only got like 5, maybe 10, not even 10 years. Like I got like 5 years
5
left
years
in my
left.
career. Like
Yeah.
what am I doing, right?
Exactly.
So it's just interesting that there's just some guys that you would expect, but no.
Yeah. And, there's been some dark times for everybody. And I think the key thing is to just revert back to what I was saying is that time does fix all things, man. Like, I've seen Hector be in fucking terrible situations. I've been in terrible situations. And honestly, man, like, nothing is better than fucking time. And running up to fucking time, your mom. There's nothing better than when you tell your mom a fucking issue,
Yeah.
and this woman looks at you, and she's like, "It's gonna be all right." And that's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all I need, man. When my mom tells me it's gonna be all right,
I'm like, all right.
that's gonna be all right, man. What are your thoughts about breaking up and then redating somebody? So somebody I know of recent.
You mean the same person?
Yes.
No.
So
Bad idea.
So somebody I know, they've been dating this person for a while. The person did something somewhat suspect.
Yeah.
And they took some time off, a few years off, and then
Few
now they're
years off.
yeah, they're 2 years off, and now they're back dating again. And she says she hasn't really dated anybody. There's no real proof though she's dated anybody, and I know he hasn't dated. He
Yeah.
fucked around,
Yeah.
but he hasn't really dated nobody. What are your thoughts? You tell me your thoughts.
I don't
I'll
know.
tell you mine.
The only times I've ever heard of that being successful is when the time off is had and the people get back together. That's it. Like they only get back together once. Because there's people that we both know a lot of people that
You done with this?
yeah, sure, that will split up, get back together, split up.
Right.
Like they keep doing that, and that never ends up
That never
being
works well.
successful.
No, I've been in one of those.
The only ones where I've seen that, or I've at least I've heard that, like, okay, it worked out, was literally like they got back together once, and that was it. Like they either stayed together for the rest of their lives or they got married. But that was it, just the one time.
Just the one time.
Because usually that's more of like a
I made a mistake.
yeah, or I made a mistake, or like I actually needed time off because something was like wrong with me or
Yeah.
whatever. Like and they actually went and did the work that they had to, or whatever they said they were gonna do. But that's the only time I've ever heard that sort of thing
Yeah.
work. Otherwise, like the whole
Never.
like let's get back together and then
Nope.
split up. That's awful.
Nope.
It's just a cycle.
Nope. And usually the one breaking up is the one that cares less.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that I've seen that firsthand, and then at the end of the relationship, that's the person who's screaming for the other person, and it's hilarious how that switch happens.
Yeah.
Almost immensely.
Yeah.
One thing I gotta say is
This is a pretty good one, by the way.
yeah, it's not bad.
Let's see.
I asked my dad my dad. Total transparency, terrible guy. Terrible guy. Okay, but there has been evolution in my head as I've aged as a man, and I've taken the good with the bad with everybody.
Yeah.
And with that, you have to understand that there are really good lessons you can, not only that are meant for you, so they're basically, you know, like my dad, he would teach me these things out of the goodness of his heart, but he was a bad person generally because he did a big portion of his life was doing bad shit.
Right.
But you could still respect the good that he taught.
And it takes a mature person to be able to do that sort of thing because it's very easy to get
Categorize
caught.
people.
Yeah, I don't say like caught up on what people do, but it's very easy to, when you see things in someone else that either offend you or you think are really bad or like whatever, you kind of categorize them, as you said, in that way completely. You're like,
For sure.
there's so much of this, like the stuff that I don't agree with or I don't respect or whatever. There's no way that they have qualities that I could respect.
Yeah.
Because then if they do have qualities that I can respect, that means that it's possible
Yeah.
that I would end up respecting them. And that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So like
I know.
And it takes a mature person to be able to say, you know what? Like, yeah, there's multiple parts to this person. You know, they might be bad
It's a multifaceted
90%
issue.
of the
Yeah.
time, maybe, or whoever, whatever. They might do some like really bad things, heinous things that I don't agree with. But
Heinous. What a nice word.
yeah, but when they
I'll take that.
when they do something that is respectable, that makes sense, I'm gonna listen. So it takes a mature person to be able to do that sort of thing.
But yeah, when I asked about to my dad about, you know, getting back with a girl, you know, he told me something very interesting in Turkish, and he said, "Son, if you're in a forest and you see the same tree twice, you're lost."
Wow,
And I was like,
damn,
"That's good.
that is good.
That's good."
That's cool.
And
I like that one.
you know, my dad was a very wise guy, but he was also, he had his own demons, which was interesting.
Yep.
Because you're like, you know, at a certain age, you know, we only see perfection in our parents, especially if they're good to us.
Mm-hmm.
We think them as our heroes.
Absolutely, yep.
Our, you know, I guess our predecessors.
Predecessor, yeah.
Yeah, our predecessors, and basically in our ancestry line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, this person's perfect, but as you age, you realize that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But that wisdom, that fucking wisdom is fucking sweet sometimes, man. Some sweet sometimes, you know. I don't know if you have parents or grandparents or uncles or aunts that have some good quotes. I got 3 people that I grew up with. One uncle, dead. One grandpa, dead. Dad, basically figuratively dead. That gave me the most like quotes like this.
Yeah.
On a monthly or you know, seasonally basis where
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
My grandma, my dad, my mom sometimes, one of my uncles. I gotta tell you, man, the iced coffee with weed combo hits really well. Because you know, like if you, especially when you get to the end, it gets super hot. But if you cool yourself beforehand, that's so good.
Gives you endurance.
Yeah, it's a good combo.
You know when I realized that?
It's a good combo.
When I
What?
was taking a bus after jail in 2016.
You're just talking back something cold, and you're like, wait a second.
Wait a second. I don't have a driving license, but this is legit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are the people that, and I would say my grandma probably is the one with the most amount of like really good quotes and like
Yeah.
sayings and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
One that I remember, not as profound as one you told me, but and it's a quote that you can apply to like many things. But in Spanish, it's "Escoba nueva siempre limpia," which translates to "A new broom always cleans well."
Wow.
So it's like you can use it to anything.
Replaceable.
The main lesson there is that no matter the quality of what you have,
Right.
when it's brand new, it'll always seem great. So you can apply that obviously to things that you buy. You can apply that to people as well. Like when you get into a new relationship, you might be thinking, "Oh my God, like this person's the best. Like they do so many things for me, or they make me feel so great." Or it's not the honeymoon phase that most people know this as. But that saying can be applied there, where it's like new broom always cleans well. It's when the broom gets old that's when you find out if it's actually a good broom or not. So,
dude, I'm not the type of guy to come here and tell everybody I told you so. But
what are we transitioning here?
Trump 2024, dog.
We skipped a week because we were doing some outside stuff that hopefully
Did it pan out?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think we should we'll keep doing that, and hopefully the viewers will see the fruits of our labor. I think there's real potential there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we skipped out on being able to talk about that because we were doing the thing. Dude, what the fuck? We're not even a week now, almost 7 days from a failed assassination attempt on Donald Trump on American soil. Fucking crazy, dude.
Wild.
Like do you know where you were when you heard this shit?
If I'm not mistaken, I was taking a shit.
It was midday Sunday, like noon.
I was taking a shit.
I was
Scrolling on my phone.
I was at Fiji Fest with my girlfriend at Swangard Stadium. Check one of the group chats, and all of a sudden, like 200 messages. Because
Yeah.
I mute one of them because it's just there's a lot popping up. 200 messages. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? I didn't say I was done with that.
I'll buy you another one.
You're fucking stripping on your keyboard.
I'll buy you another one.
Get yourself another keyboard too.
I'll buy you another one.
It looks disgusting, dude.
I'll buy you another one.
Yeah. So and then I looked this up, and all of a sudden it's like blah blah, blah this and that. Some of the guys were like, "Yo, I don't believe this shit. It looks fucking fake. It looks blah blah blah." And then other people were like, "Yo." Just at the time when it happened, it was almost unbelievable because you're like, "There's no way someone actually tried."
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that someone actually tried successfully
Yeah. Do this.
to assassinate
Yeah.
a former president of the United States on U.S. soil. Like, there's
On
just
US
no way.
soil.
There's just
That's
no way.
the wild part.
Like, for so many reasons. The security, there's no way that they wouldn't have locked that place down for like a 5-mile radius.
Yep.
There's no way that somebody would actually want to do this
Right.
and have the means to do it.
Right.
Because the people that Trump attracts or like that align with Trump those are the same type of people to do these sorts of things generally, gun wielding guys, whatever. There's no way one of them would actually want to do, you know what I mean? So it's so many things it's made no sense. It was just so almost unbelievable.
Right.
And I think a lot of people were in a state of shock where they're like, whoa, this was like, he did it on purpose so that it would make him look better on the campaign, or like, it was like orchestrated, blah, 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 this and that. And then you hear like more news where it's like, no, someone actually died.
Yeah.
Like a spectator, one of the people behind him died. 2 other people were seriously injured. And then like as the days went on, you're like, wow, no, this actually happened.
You know what I
and
think
it was a real thing. It was not some like planted fake thing.
This is why I believe in Jesus. Or not Jesus, but I believe in heaven. And I don't really believe in heaven, but it's just to go with the joke.
Okay.
You know what happened? Muhammad Ali came down from the sky and bobbed and weaved this motherfucker out because he was inches away.
No, he tapped him on the shoulder. He's like, yo, what's that? And he's like, what? That's literally what happened. Like,
wild.
Within a literal split second, when Donald Trump just turned to look one way, and that's when the bullet whizzed by and clipped the top of his ear.
Wild.
Had he just stayed there for another half second, we're living in a different America. Yeah. Like, we're living in a different world. So I don't know if you believe, like, or if you buy into, like, there's a few, like, kind of out there physics theories. One of them is the multiple realities theory.
Yeah, multi-dimensional theory.
Not dimensional, like actual multi-reality, where there's like actual different timelines. So there,
but there's different dimensions where like us, we're in a different.
Yeah, but dimensions are different things. Like this theory is specifically like same dimension, same world, same everything. There's just another timeline
because something else happened.
Yeah,
in an
yeah,
event.
exactly.
South versus
and there's
north.
like an almost infinite possibility.
Infinite
like
possibility.
There's a possibility where you stayed in jail.
Yeah.
There's a possibility where you never even went to jail. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's a world where you go back. You know what I mean? So there's
I don't want to
infinite.
live in that world where I'd never went. To
No,
jail.
but I'm saying there's
As a pussy.
infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
Anyways, there is one. Now we know about another one where Trump actually gets shot. Because that bullet that was headed for his brain.
Yep.
Like that, and that was not a small one either. That was an AR-15 round. So that's a 5.56 round. It's a high velocity.
I think it's a
Round.
3.32 Win Mag.
No, I don't think so. Because AR-15. I mean, there's like a
There's
few different
versions,
possibilities,
yeah.
but we know
Anyway,
that's a high velocity
That's
round.
it's not a 9 mil.
It's not a 9
Yeah.
mil. It's not a
not a
handgun.
22.
It's a high velocity round.
Yeah, it's legit.
Right. So that's going through your brain. You're cooked.
You're dead.
Especially at that age, right? And so now we know of a world where that would have happened because he was not like that wasn't maybe going to hit him, like that was going to hit him
Yeah.
because it hit the top of his ear, and the only reason it didn't hit his head is because he turned.
moved it. Yeah.
So that's crazy to
And
think
the
about.
other thing is, Trump's kid was seconds away from being fucking Batman.
Oh,
Seconds away.
I guess, yeah. Well, he'd also
Think
need
about it.
He'd also need his mom to be killed for being
Yeah,
Batman.
she's already dead.
Jesus.
But you get my point. Is like this was nuts and couldn't be a better promotion. Like could not be. You could not write a better fucking promotion. Like,
Oddly enough, man, the numbers are not like it's what's weird about this because the only way for this to be like a better promotion is if it were actually to
reflect on numbers.
no, not only that, but yeah, reflect the numbers, but how, right? You would either have to turn neutrals
Or
turn
landslides.
Dems.
Yeah,
You're not going to turn
yeah.
Dems over this because they don't give a fuck.
But essentially, it has to be a landslide.
And it's not turning the
No.
neutrals on which is it what it's really doing, it's emboldening the right.
Yeah.
Like it's making them see
Let's
him as a
go.
bigger figure sort of thing, right? But they already had those votes.
He's a prophet.
What they're wanting to do is get the votes that they don't have. And oddly enough, this isn't really like doing it for him.
Prophet Trump.
But yeah, wild man, like what a security fiasco.
Now,
Like, how do you
I
fuck
have
that
a
up?
question for you, Hector. You're not a Trump fan.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Would you say you're not? Would you say you're anti-Trump?
Depends on some things for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
you don't think he should die? But
No.
should-
So, like-
you just disagree with him politically.
I disagree with him politically, and I don't
Okay.
think he'll be a good president.
right.
But I don't think that's a reason for him to get shot.
Okay. So I
Because
got a
I've seen what
yeah.
that does in other countries.
Yeah. No, nothing good.
No.
Revolt.
Yeah.
And a lot of death, massacre.
And a lot of insecurity too.
yes.
Like if that's successful, and even this is actually it's already bad. Like the fact that this happened.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is that the aura of invincibility around American protection services
It's gone.
is gone. So you're saying, well, shit, if this fucking 18-year-old kid could get on some fucking like farm roof 120 meters away, he got lined up sights on the ex-president and was able to shoot him. What, like, then who's safe?
Nobody.
That means I could, you know what I mean? Like the amount of
Nobody's
things
safe.
you could possibly do, like this is just ridiculous
Yeah.
in that sense.
Nobody's safe.
What was your question?
The question is, if I need you to put on your glasses for this. This is a simple question. I need
Just
you
some
to put on-
bullshit? What is
no,
this?
No, this is a legit question. Yeah, snore away, fucking Fijian prince.
All right.
Okay, so the
That's one of my
question
kids.
is, if Trump in the next 4 years turns everything around, and this is an all if, right? There's lots of variables on the table. There's the elites. There's the company ownerships that might not align with business
Sure.
practices, so on and so forth. But what if there's like world peace, absolute world peace, and we are just killing it? The economy's killing it. The whole world is killing it, and we're fucking putting trees down as we fucking burn the forest, and then we fucking cultivate the lands, and we have all sorts of weathering machines so that there's proper rain in the proper areas and proper snow, and everything changes in 4 years. Are you coming back and you're on this pod and you're gonna say, "I was wrong"? Trump's a great
Absolutely.
president.
I think anybody would be a fool to not do that.
Yeah.
You're talking about, okay, this is really gay. What you're describing is something that's literally never been seen in the history of mankind. Like that would be because you described some pretty lofty things. Like you could have
Lofty.
you could have
I could have said something a lot.
you could have omitted a few of those things,
For
and I
sure.
still would have come back here in 4 years and said like he's a
I
great
was wrong,
president, right?
yeah.
Like you didn't world
Yeah.
peace. All these, okay,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I went far.
I think
But he does. He does.
He does say some lofty bullshit. I think if he were to win, and if he were to even without all the other like lofty shit, turn the economic situation around in America, make a real dent on some of the things that he's been mentioning, or some of the things that America's struggling with right now, it would still be an amazing win. It'd be huge.
Yeah.
The issue is he had his chance and he didn't do a lot of these things. So it's like people. I think people fall into the trap of idolizing a man who's never really going to be able to do the things that he's promising you.
Right.
That's the biggest issue with running for president in the United States.
Presidency period as a whole.
Because, well, no, in some countries they do have like absolute power, so yeah, sure, go do whatever you want. Like,
But then
fucking
they don't. They never do anything well.
Yeah, they do. Homeboy in El Salvador, fucking like cleaned up the streets. He's done really great things.
One guy.
Because I know, but I'm saying it's because he's got literally absolute power.
Yeah.
He's got control. We talked about some
I
of the
know,
podcasts,
but then
right?
the problem with that is you don't want to live in that.
Yeah, you do. People there are thriving. They're loving life.
But these people there are okay being controlled at that extent. People in America probably won't.
Yeah, I know, but so
right? They like the freedom.
So back to what I was saying. It's just people fall into this trap of thinking that utopia is possible by believing in one man, and it's not. That's just not the case because Trump's great, blah blah. Okay, let's elect him, and then what's going to happen? Same shit that's happened in the past with every single other president.
Yep.
He's going to get slowed down by a lot of bureaucracy,
Yep.
like everybody else is. He's going to have to push his people to try and do the things that he wants, but you're trying to like herd cats. There's 300 fucking legislative representatives. There's another 100 senators, 50 governors, and multiple other branches of government. Like, what, you think you're going to have all of them on a big group chat and be like, hey, do this, do that? It's like, no, there's no way for you to like effectively have these swinging things of power. Like, he made all these promises about like immigration and blah blah this and that. In reality, the things that he ended up changing during his 4-year term were things that nobody actually ever heard of. They were like sneaky tax reforms that he put in there. There were some healthcare changes, there were some spending changes, but they're like the boring things. Those were things that actually got done. The whole thing of like, I'm going to build a wall. Bro, no wall was built. You know what I mean? Like all these like crazy like things that like you're reaching for, that didn't end up happening because.
But I don't even think those things are. Yes, you're right, but I don't think those things were even necessary to do. Building a wall is not really necessary. I understand that
you don't think it's necessary, but
I understand
the American people do.
Sure,
that's
but
right.
What I'm saying is, I know he went into the election saying I'm going to go build a fucking wall. I get that, but practically, if you think about it,
Obviously,
your labor.
Dude,
runs on Mexicans.
I was just gonna say, who's gonna build that wall?
Right,
Mexicans.
It
to keep out
runs
Mexicans.
on fucking Mexicans. You don't go to Home Depot in fucking southern USA
at 6 in the morning.
At 6 in the morning with 15 mijos just standing there on the corner asking for work.
Yep.
You don't find those whites.
Yep.
You find the mijos.
That's right.
Only, and that's why, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. And I think he just ran with it to run with it. I think he's a promo guy. He's a salesman.
Yeah, he's the more interesting thing that I believe people don't pay close enough attention to because it's boring as fuck. It's so boring, but people don't look to, if a party is elected, who are the people that are actually going to be put in positions of small power that could affect things. Those are things that matter. Like, who's going to be in charge of like defense policy? Who's going to be in charge of, immigration policy? Who's going to be in charge of education? Who's going to be in charge of healthcare? And then like, what people will they be installing in the courts and this and that? Those are the boring things. People are like, fuck it. I like Trump 2024. And then they don't think about the implications of electing a party that are full with people who might potentially not be fit to run or like might not have their best interests in mind. So I think those are the things that sometimes people overlook because it's just it's boring and it's easier to look the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. And the hard part is the older you get, the harder it is to change somebody's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't actually believe in you can change it anytime. I think you build some bad habits at one point. You're like, well, I can't fucking change.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly like what you said. I spent 60 years doing X thing. I'm not going to go and do something, the Y thing at 61 years.
Yeah.
It's harder to change. But I came across somebody who was homeless for 20 years and changed up and became a project manager.
What?
Yeah.
20 years homeless?
20 years homeless. Buddy's 56.
He's been homeless since he was 30?
32. He cleaned up at 52 and he became a project manager at 53.
How do you manage that? What was his path?
He was a super before.
No,
he was
but like,
30.
how do you just walk? You're gonna walk on a site and be like super. You're like, what's your work experience? Oh, I've been homeless for 20 years.
No, there was a transition. He had like a 4-year transition
Yeah.
from 48
Yeah.
to being fully homeless, drugged up
Yeah.
to 52. But I met him. I have this site in Squamish.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Valley Cliff, and basically they have to pay us. You know, the compensation they have to not only pay us is not just dictated by the contract. It's
Right.
dictated by our guys having to stay there fucking for weeks, months on end. Right? They
Yeah.
have to live out from
Yeah,
that
yeah,
area.
yeah.
So it's a pretty lofty contract. You know, we're talking like 20 mil plus. And for a small envelope, and he was just, me and him were just shooting the shit. He pulled out a cigar, couple 1-2 cigars, and we're standing on it and the area. And I don't know. You've been to Squamish, right?
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful.
It is.
We're
Gorgeous.
really standing on a
gorgeous.
fucking hill, looking at the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
Best spot to pull out. He pulled out 2 little glasses.
Did you guys make out?
No, but he fingered me in the ass. Anyway, yeah, so we're talking and shit, and you know, pulled out a couple of little, you know, single malt. You ever had single malt?
Single malt whiskey?
Yeah,
Of course. Scotch.
disgusting.
It's an acquired taste.
It's not acquired. I hate it. Anyway, we had that, and we're standing around. He's like Armin. He doesn't call me Armand. He calls me Armin.
Armin, yeah.
And he's like,
I've
Armin.
met Armins. That's why
Yeah.
I get that.
He's like, Armin. He's like, how old are you, son? I'm like, I'm 30, 31. He's like, man, when I was 30, 31, things were good, and then they went south.
What the hell?
And he was just telling me the story of how he's like, the year's 1999. And he just started the fucking story like that. He just started telling me. He's like,
Jesus.
one of my friends had heroin. And he's like, why don't we do Y2K with a little bit of heroin? And then he's like, I never stopped for 20 years. And I was like,
What
oh,
the fuck?
shit, dude. Wild.
That's crazy.
I definitely have to beep out the name of the fucking job site.
Yeah.
I just realized that. Yeah, that's a wild thing. It's like, I think right now the scariest part of my job is, I don't even want to boast about it, but it's the responsibility that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, like, these motherfuckers trusted me with it. I don't think I got it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing well. Don't get me wrong. Like, nothing's happened. We had a couple of sexual harassment charges. Like, we had a bunch of shit I had to deal with. Like, all sorts of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't believe it. And it's been going good. But it's like every day you think you did well.
Yeah.
You go home. You drop a deuce. You know, you talk to your girl. Whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next day you come to work, you're like, fuck, I didn't think about that one.
Yeah.
And it's everlasting. Today is like my 80th day or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, dude. Today I woke up out of bed at 4 and I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't sign that contract.
Oh, yeah.
For the bid. So they bid and then you got to sign the contract
Yep.
saying like, okay, I authorize the bid. And then I forgot, and today at 12 was the last day, so I had to fucking
Hustle and bustle.
get it expedited fucking out there. But how's the new gig?
It's just started. It's good.
Yeah,
It's basically what I've been looking for a long time. I've been wanting to get somewhere like big and like with name recognition,
yeah.
and this is that ticket.
Okay.
So this is
Are you gonna make like
it'll be about
you
the
don't-
same. It'll be about the same.
Now, does that tier up?
Yeah, so
eventually?
at that point, it's yes and no. So, like, I've taken a look at the org chart.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. There's, like, literally 50,000 employees. It's a global company, right? It's
Yeah.
not, we're not talking just in Canada now. Now we're talking, like, there's the option for me to, like, work in different countries if I want to. Like, I can get placed in the States. I could get placed in Europe if I wanted to.
Yeah.
If I say that I'm willing to relocate and all that kind of stuff. Like my boss, he actually relocated to headquarters in the States for like, I think he said 3 years. And he said he loved it because they're based out of Ohio, and I guess wherever he was living, he just really enjoyed it. He's from Calgary originally, and he said he's like, the minute I moved back, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
He's like, it was my wife who wanted to move back, blah, blah, for like a bunch of different reasons, and once we did, I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
He's like, that was like 20 years ago. He's like, I've been wanting to go back ever since, and he's actually right now looking like on postings and stuff, and if something comes up, he's gonna try and only if it makes sense for him, because he's like higher up, right? So he's not gonna be going there for just like a fucking salesman. He's gonna want to move there for like an equivalent role or better.
What's his position?
He's Western Regional Manager, Western Canada Regional Manager.
What kind of stacks are we talking?
I would honestly say,
You have to guesstimate because obviously you don't know.
I would say 2 to 250, easy.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, because I don't know at that point what the comp looks like. What's interesting is that, as you probably well know, in a company this size, everything's organized.
Yep.
Like everything has something to explain it.
Mhm.
So for pay, there's pay scales, pay numbering scales, pay grading scales. So I'm at a 5, whatever that means, and then there's more. So like a good leap for me, because it would be like directly up. I would basically go from right now I'm a territory manager, and then the next real step would be what my boss is doing. So it'd be like the Western Regional Manager, and then from there you could become the national sales manager for these divisions. But you could take a side step and still make more money. So like you could get into product management. And then when you enter product management, you're making more. And at that point, you're in a different branch, and you could go up that scale instead. So what's cool about a company this size is that some of the lateral moves actually bump you in comp pretty well. So that's kind of cool, as well as opening yourself up to other things that you may find more interesting. So like, if you get tired of sales, like, okay, that's cool. Like, do you want to get into engineering or to like I said, product management or something else, or like whatever, and like make those leaps, or like even relocate if that makes sense for you. So,
and what's a national?
No idea. Making? No idea.
Now, do you guys have shares?
Not how you think. So this isn't like a startup. This company's been around for like over 100 years. Not over, but like almost 100 years.
They pay you for it, right?
No. So you're not. Okay. It's not like you're you sign and you're like,
it's
okay.
Not dividends.
No, yeah, it's not like that.
Yeah.
At least not at this level. Not at where I'm at now. That might be a thing higher up. Yeah. Especially if you work for the American division, which is where headquarters is based out of. These guys are a Fortune 250 company,
right?
So like that's better than 500. That's right.
For sure.
So they're a Fortune 250 company. They're pretty legit.
Congratulations. I bullshitted your fucking whole thing. Dog.
I heard they didn't ask much, so it's fine. Like
they did ask a lot.
3-4 questions.
Nope. 20 minutes.
You told me it wasn't much. You're 20
minutes.
Literally, it was you who told me it wasn't much.
I'm trying to be nice.
I don't think so.
20 minutes.
I think it wasn't much because I know someone else, because I had to give them like a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, they're just checking how much time you worked, this and that, eligible for rehire, blah, blah, this and that. And like, okay, cool.
Essentially.
Yeah.
My story is 20 minutes.
Your standard.
I'm sticking to it.
When you sign up for the Agbashu package, you're getting minimum 20 minutes. You want the premier package. You got the 30-minute dick sucking.
They might fucking they might end the call. I'm still there.
Yeah. So that's all we need from you, Brian. Yeah, and so you know what? He is a great.
Hello. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Anyways, like I was
mentioning before, he's a great guy.
Oh, hilarious.
I just couldn't afford him. I keep going back to that every time you ask me. I just couldn't afford him.
That's so funny. But yeah, no. So far it's great. It's very independent in terms of like what I have to do. There's obviously there is expectation and there's not, because it's like I'm stepping into something where it's like, listen, it's gonna take me like a month just to understand. They have like a full fucking suite of like apps and shit for like every little thing you can imagine.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta understand how many fucking apps I need to know, and there's like training and bullshit corporate to go through. So
now that you're out of KTI, I can tell you what happened in that fucking reference process. So they called me for KTI, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're asking for, it was Robert, I think, right? My name was something. Anyway, let's say it's Robert. And
no. You're talking about CAC.
Yeah,
CAC. Yeah.
CAC called.
You were, I'm not going to say who, but yeah, I know. Yeah.
And they're like, are you Robert? And I'm like, no, who the fuck is that? I'm like, stop fucking calling me. And I hung up, right? And then I realized, I look at my text, and you said, you're like, hey, did they call you? And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's who it was. Because I was dealing with like spam calls.
Yeah.
So I picked up, And I was like, "Oh, sorry, there was a misunderstanding. I just been getting spam calls." And thankfully, the lady was fucking nice about it.
Jesus.
But this was many years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
That's
I never told you because I was like,
That's hilarious.
I was like, he might have just got landed the job. Fuck it. Why stress him out?
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. Do you got any good quotes?
Um,
I want you to think about this one because
Okay, let me think about it here. Let me just pull up your book here. Why is there not nothing? Why is there anything at all?
damn. Why is there not nothing? Why is there anything at all? Holy shit, dude. Damn, bro. Damn.
We ended on that.
We're out, dude.
Peace.
We've been out.
Hasn't even recorded.